This morning's reading is from a lovely little book, The Path to Kindness, and it's written by Jack R-I-D-L. I don't know whether to call him Riddle or Riddle, but in any case, it's called Take Love for Granted. Assume it's in the kitchen, under the couch, high in the pine tree out back, behind the paint cans in the garage. Don't try proving your love is bigger than the Grand Canyon, the Milky Way, the urban sprawl of LA. Take it for granted. Take it out with the garbage, bring it in with the takeout. Take it for a walk with the dog. Wake it every day, say, "Good morning." Then make the coffee, warm the cups. Don't expect much of the day. Be glad when you make it back to bed. Be glad he threw out that box of old hats. Be glad she leaves her shoes in the hall. Snow will come. Spring will show up. Summer will be humid, and the leaves of fall will fall in the fall. That's more than you need. We can love anybody, even everybody, but you can love the silence. Sighing and saying to yourself, "That's her. That's him." Then to each other, "I know. Let's go out for breakfast."
There's this kind of pastoral sigh that I find myself making when the holidays are finally over and wrapped up and the decorations put away for another year. If you haven't gotten your decorations put away, or if you never put any up in the first place, official encouragement right now that you're fine. Congratulations for however you handled the holidays. They're hard. From late November through late December, at least, I get a lot of calls, a lot of checking in from folks. "I'm anxious and upset. Is that okay? I'm frustrated with my family. It seems so petty. Is that okay? I'm exhausted and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all the expectations. I don't feel like baking or driving. Is that okay? I dread the whole thing. Is that okay? I'm really struggling with my spending or my alcohol intake or my food intake. Is that okay?" It's all okay. It's all totally normal. And it's best that we do share these feelings with someone safe, that we have an opportunity to be blatantly honest, because we can't always be blatantly honest within the settings of even our own family and our most intimate relationships. And that's okay. It's also very normal. Leo Tolstoy wrote that all happy families are alike, but every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. What do you think? I tend to think that now that we're talking about a lot of formerly taboo subjects that are common in families, now in this generation, now that we're talking about it, maybe Tolstoy's observation might feel a little less accurate. What we know about families is that they're complicated. They're little microcosms of society and culture, where almost everyone learns our most intense lessons about who we are and how to be. A place where certain truths are taught to us from the time we're tiny as unquestionable. Certain norms are established that we're not supposed to challenge. But unless we are in an insular cult or kept imprisoned by our parents, and we all know that that has sometimes tragically happened, we move in and out of the membrane of our families and we learn other norms, other truths. So a huge part of becoming a whole and healthy person and contributing to society is to engage with what we have been told and how we have been conditioned, and then to hold it up against the light of what we observe outside our family systems. What is right? What is healthy? What should I question? What within me might need to be dismantled? I first heard the expression family system when I was in my early 20s, and my mother went to rehab for alcoholism and disordered eating. She asked us, I was in college at the time, and she asked us kids, my two siblings and me, please go to therapy, all of you, so that we can all heal together from the family dysfunction. And at the time, I was busy with my own life. I don't want to think about this. You go to rehab, you deal with it, lady. So this seemed like a major imposition, but I went. And I went to the 12-step group, Adult Children of Alcoholics, ACOA, and Codependents Anonymous. Because my therapist, Dr. Jan Husen, I remember her, told me to go to those groups, and she explained to me that a family is like a mobile. I don't know how to pronounce it. Mobile? Mobile, yeah? One of those things you've seen them, like they hang them over babies' cribs, the little decorative item, and sometimes people have them elsewhere in the house. You hang it from the ceiling, and Dr. Jan said that if you touch one piece of the mobile, all of the other pieces move. And you can never touch just one without creating movement among all of them. And that metaphor has always served me perfectly to understand family systems, or in fact, any system. Is the family a safe place to talk about what's really going on? Is it safe for the children? Is it safe between partners or spouses? If not, what's taboo? And who sets the taboo? How long have they been there? What is it that we tiptoe around or walk on eggshells about? Because whatever it is, this is where injustice and violence are rooted in the individual and then therefore in our society. And this is why we can't talk about transforming our society to a healthier and more peaceful and just place until we talk about transforming our family systems. In my family, we didn't talk about mom's drinking. We did not talk about her hiding food and binging, although we saw evidence of it. We didn't talk about her days spent on the couch in her robe because she had such serious depression, or her inebriations, which she excused as being, I took cold medicine. We didn't talk about my dad's volatility, his violent temper, his insane rages that could be prompted by a bad report card, a bill arriving in the mail, a linen closet not being organized to his liking, a kid making too much noise when he was trying to sleep. We learned silence and secrecy And we learn to think of emotional violence and abuse as normal because we were told that this is how families are. Your friends' families are just like this. You just don't see it. We took our own traditional addicted family roles of, and these may sound familiar to you, the kid who's the clown, the one who makes everybody laugh, the kid who's the star, the perfectionist kid, and the scapegoat kid who gets blamed for a lot of the dysfunction in the family. It's your fault, daddy went into a rage, and so forth. We were a loving all-American family. And we really were, because love can and does genuinely coexist alongside all kinds of dysfunction and abuse in families. And now I'm going to hum, we don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. Hey. In the movie Encanto, a Disney film that you might have thought was for children, and it is, because kids are bananas about it. If you have little ones around, you know the whole Encanto thing by heart. A Colombian family, the Madrigals, live in an enchanted enclosure, an Encanto, that was created by magic following a harrowing incident of violence. A town that was invaded by soldiers. We don't really know the details. It's all told in a flashback. This town was overtaken by soldiers of an invading force. And as the villagers fled across a river, Alma, young Alma, who's the key character, she later becomes grandmother, abuela. Young Alma's husband, Pedro, sacrifices himself trying to stop the armed men coming in on horseback. The candle that Alma is holding, and she's very pregnant, by the way, generates, as a result of this moment of sacrifice, it generates some kind of magical energy as she sobs in agony. And that night, she gives birth to triplets, all of whom possess a gift, a magical power. Also, at the same time, a beautiful big house, casita, which means house. Casa is house, casita, little house. A beautiful house springs up out of a clearing in the Encanto to protect her family. Like, you're thinking, like, this is for kids? Oh, maybe I'll watch this, right? It's much more intense than children realize. The 3 children she gives birth to are Julieta, whose magical gift is to heal with her cooking. Pepa, another daughter's gift, is to externalize her emotions by changing the weather. It's not much of a gift, actually. It's more like a curse. If you like, this doesn't seem fun. And Bruno, the son's gift, is prophecy. He can see the future. But there's a problem. Bruno's prophecies aren't always positive, and they scare and upset the family and the community. Although in the song, we don't talk about Bruno. We hear some of Bruno's prophecies, and they're pretty innocuous. They're things like, he told me my fish would die the next day, dead. It's a goldfish. They don't live that long. He told me I'd grow a gut, and just like he said, he said that all my hair would disappear. Now look at my hair. These are middle-aged guys. This is not like a big, magical gift to be able to predict that somebody might get a dad bod and have a receding hairline. Not particularly threatening, but after a particularly upsetting and confusing prophecy about the family regarding the stability of the casa, la casita, Bruno exiles himself from the madrigals, and he disappears. In time, Pepa and Julieta marry and have children. They do this a little after, he knows the little children, all of whom also receive their gifts from the house at a special celebration that's held on their 5th birthday. But one daughter appears to not have received a gift. She is Mirabel, whose root name, Mira, means to look, and Belle is beautiful, Mirabel. She turns out to be the covertly gifted child who sees something wrong with the family, a crack in the facade, a threat to stability and security, and she wants to find out why. She is a truth teller. She is ultimately a healer, but before she can get to that point, she has to tolerate accusations from her controlling grandmother, Abuela. By the way, Abuela's real name, Alma, means soul. That she, Mirabel, is causing trouble, damage. And so it is in every family system when someone steps outside of the unspoken rule of secrecy to speak an uncomfortable truth about how things are. We are hurting. We are maybe lying to each other in this family. We are in denial. Where's my exiled uncle anyway? Why don't we talk about Bruno? Who's holding the secrets and why am I not allowed to know them? What happens in Encanto is what happens in many closed family systems, which is that they have to experience a big crisis before they can make room for some truth and eventually for healing. And that is what is happening to many of the closed, secretive systems in our country right now. Healthier family members are asking questions, are pushing the controlling parents and grandparents and wanting to know, what is this? Why are some of us missing? Why did they get cast out? Who is holding the power in this system and why? And while they smile for the cameras, what's crumbling? We could really be in danger here. Greta Thunberg is a Mirabel, using her tenacity to keep asking the leaders about climate crisis and to say, we're in trouble, do something. Exiled, cast out by many, celebrated by some. She does it out of love and survival of the planet. The Reverend Bernadette Hickman Maynard, pastor of Bethel AME in Lynn, one of our ECHO partners, is a Mirabel, interrupting a smile for the cameras moment at the Martin Luther King Jr. breakfast a couple of weeks ago to confront the mayor about police accountability. She does it for love and out of concern for the city's residents. Krista Brown is a Mirabel, whistleblowing about sexual abuse cover-ups in the Southern Baptist Church. She does it out of love for her religious tradition in the insistence that it can be healthier. The power of Encanto for many of its fans is that in this story, the truth-telling child is supported and loved by her family. There is an outcast, Bruno, but he has exiled himself because he believes he's been hurting the family. But his niece, Mirabel, similarly misunderstood by her protective, controlling, and traumatized grandmother, does have parents who keep affirming to her that she hasn't done anything wrong and that despite her not receiving an obvious magical gift like her siblings, she's perfect and beautiful the way she is. Really flips the script, many of us know. Her cousins also adore her and cheer her on and stand up for her. She has sibling tensions with her apparently perfect and gorgeous sister Isabella, whose magical gift is to be able to create flowers wherever she looks at the wave of a hand and the toss of her luxurious mane of hair. But the extended family and community support Mirabel. And the house, the casita, protects her even as it is collapsing. When you watch the movie, notice how the house, when it is falling apart, throws her to safety and even erects 2 flying doors that have fallen down over her head to protect her as the whole building is collapsing. The house protects her. Many Mirabels in the family system are not embraced and protected. You know some of them. You are them, some of you. These are the ones whose parents won't speak to them for asking wrong questions or daring to challenge the secrecy of the family, and who have had to work all of their lives to create chosen family of people who are healthier, more honest, supportive, and nurturing than the ones they were given by biology. This is why we have to be intentional about shifting our mental maps of what we mean by family when we say, we'd like to attract families in the church, okay? Because that's what we hear is, oh, the traditional family. No. We are trying to attract people who want to be in community and perhaps find chosen, healthier family, even if they're blessed by a healthy family to begin with. In the end, after her quest to get out at the truth, why don't we talk about Bruno? How can we make our casita strong again? Mirabel gets a beautiful apology from her grandmother. Down by that same river that Abuela crossed over those many years ago, fleeing after her husband was killed by the soldiers. A river she's never returned to until Mirabel runs there weeping after being blamed for the destruction of their home. It's an incredibly emotionally satisfying moment, musically and visually beautiful as well. Mirabel gets a redemption as she becomes the next generation's guardian, caregiver of the family home. And she is finally celebrated and recognized for her courage and told, we see how bright you burn. Remember that original candle? We see how brave you are. Now see yourself in turn. You're the real gift. The popularity of Encanto could be attributed to its beautiful visuals and catchy tunes, but for millions of people who have watched it in tears over and over, it is a story of hope that speaks most deeply to us. What if we supported each other? What if we supported the ones who dared to speak up first, to say, there are cracks in this foundation, instead of shushing them? We see that the extraordinary strength granted to Mirabel's sister Luisa, you see her carrying a church, carrying buildings, carrying 5 or 6 donkeys, and the gift of flowery perfection granted to her other sister Isabella are in fact not so much gifts but defenses that serve the dysfunction of the family. Luisa sings a line in her song Surface Pressure that always just makes me cry. She sings, I'm pretty sure I'm worthless if I can't be of service. And lovely Isabella gets to break free of her floral perfection prison at the climactic moment of the story when she and Mirabel have a confrontation that allows Isabel to finally reveal her own truth, which is that she doesn't want to marry the hunky, Disney prince Mariano. She's only doing it for the family and to keep Abuela happy. In this moment of Disney princess reversal, a little cactus pops up out of Isabella's honesty and rage. Whereas she had only ever before created pretty blossoms and blooms, while carefully keeping her true feelings and desires under wraps, for the first time she sees she's capable of creating something new, something asymmetrical, something entirely hers, not perfect, but honest, prickly. Cactus, what else can I do, she wonders, and sings in celebration of the liberation that comes from breaking free of stultifying family systems constructed out of trauma and maintained through control and secrecy. Krystal is going to sing the part of Isabella in What Else Can I Do? And I am going to sing Sister Mirabel's part. I don't have the big round green glasses, but I got these. Please feel free to sing along if you know it. And I bet a lot of you do.
I just made something unexpected, something sharp, something new. It's not symmetrical or perfect, but it's beautiful, and it's mine. What else can I do?
Bring it in, bring it in.
What else
Bring it
can
in.
I do?
Bring it in, bring it in.
I grow rows and rows of roses, flor de mayo, by the mile. I make perfect practice poses. So much hides behind my smile. What could I do if I just grew what I was feeling in the moment?
You know where you're going.
What could I do if I just knew it didn't need to be perfect? It just needed to be, and they let me be a hurricane of jacarandas, strangling figs, hanging vines.
Fine.
Palma de cera fills the air as I climb and I push through. What else can I do? Can I deliver us a river of sundew? Careful, it's carnivorous, a little just won't do. I want to feel the shiver of something new. I'm so sick of pretty, I want something true, don't you?
Just seem like your life's been a dream since the moment you opened your eyes.
Far do these roots go down?
All I know are the blossoms you grow, but it's awesome to see how you rise.
How far can I rise? Through the roof, through the skies, let's go. A hurricane of jacarandas, strangling figs, hanging vines. Palma de cera fills the air as I climb and I push through.
What else? What else?
What can you do when you are deeply, madly, truly in the moment?
Seize the moment, keep going.
What can you do when you know who you wanna be isn't perfect, but it still be okay?
Everybody clear the way.
I'm coming through, it's the baby-ya, making waves, changing minds. The way is clear 'cause you're here and well, I owe this all to you. What else can I do?
Show 'em what you can do.
What else can I do?
There's nothing you can't do.
What else can I do?
Yeah. Talk about Bruno. Be the courageous Mirabels who ask about the family secrets. Be the generous mother Julieta who heals with a meal, and the father Augustine Madrigal who sees the child's specialness and affirms it. Be the villager who shows up with the tools and a generous spirit to rebuild what has broken down, to offer your support even if you have no supernatural powers. Our enchanted place, our world Encanto, is safe for all only if we are honest in it and brave, and understand that while we are blessed and given gifts every day to help us survive, the miracle is you. Go in peace. Go in courage. Go and talk about Bruno. Let the people say, Amen, Amen.